Hello guys, this is Sumant from Decode Now. Welcome to the lecture series on Python for beginners. Today we'll be learning more about strings in Python. So let's jump into the video. Strings are sequence of characters using the syntax of either single quotes or double quotes. So we always mention or enclose strings within single quotes or double quotes. As we can look at the examples here. In the first example, we have hello, which is enclosed within single quotes, and the same hello is enclosed within double quotes in the second example. And in the third example, we have a sentence saying, I'm going for a walk, which is enclosed within double quotes. One interesting thing which we can observe here is we are using single quote in the third example within the string. So if we had, instead of using enclosing it within double quotes, if we had enclosed it within single quotes, then Python would have thought that this string is ending here and the rest of the characters would not make sense to Python, and it would throw an error. So we'll be looking at that in the example section. So let's move to next slide. So because strings are ordered sequences, it means that we can use indexing as well as slicing to grab subsections of the string. What I mean by indexing is for each individual character in the string, there is an index value, and using that index value, we can grab individual characters from the string. Whereas in slicing, we can grab a particular part or a slice of the string, or we can say a subsection of the string. In indexing we use this notation of square brackets, and within the square brackets we pass the index value, and the character which is associated to that particular index value will be given as the output. So indexing allows us to grab the single character from the string, as I said earlier. Moving to the next slide. This a bit more detail about indexing. If we can see, we have a string. Suppose we have a string hello, and indexing would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more thing we'll have to keep in mind is indexing always starts from 0, even in Python and even in most of the programming languages. So H is associated with the index value 0, E with 1, L with 2, and the other L with 3, and O with 4. One more interesting thing in Python is we also have reverse indexing. Suppose there is a lengthy string and we wanted to access the last value or the last character of that particular string. Instead of going in sequence and counting the total length, we could easily get that value by using -1. So this is reverse indexing, where 0 is associated to H, -1 to O, -2 to L, -3 to other L, and -4 to E. This all about indexing in Python. We'll be looking in detail with the examples in the Jupyter section. Moving to next slide, we have slicing. Slicing, as I said earlier, allows us to grab a subsection of multiple characters, or we can say a slice of the string. So it has the following syntax. We have three values. One is the start index value, the other is the stop index value, and the last is step size. All these three values are enclosed within square brackets and separated using colons. So start index is a numerical index for the slice to start. So from which index value do you want the slice to begin with? That's the index value which goes here. And for the stop index value, it is the value which it will go up to but does not include. So what I mean by this is if we want to include at the character which is at 3, we won't be specifying the stop value as 3, but instead we will be specifying it as 4, because it will go up to the index value, but it won't be considering that index value. So you'll understand it much better when we work with examples in the Jupyter Notebook section. So, and the last value is the step size. It is this size of the jump we take. So suppose default value, it will be like 1. So if we have a string hello, it will go from H to E, E to L, L to L, and then to O. But if we mention that step size as 2, then it will skip a character in between. It will go from H to directly to L. It will be skipping E. So similarly, we can mention any other value here, and it will skip those many characters in between, and give us the rest of the values. So let's jump into the Jupyter Notebook section to work with few examples. So for strings, this is a string enclosed within single quotes. We can have one more value enclosed within double quotes. This is also a string. We can have a string saying this is also a string. Um, so one thing I want you to observe here is we have out in all the cells here, and the output is enclosed within quotes. If we want to remove that, we can say print the string value hello. Now you can see that out in the cell is gone, and the printed value is also not enclosed within quotes. And one more thing I wanted to show is, suppose I am enclosing a string value and I'm giving I am going for a run. What you can, and closing it with the quotes. And what you can observe here is Python thinks that I'm ending my string value right here, and the rest of the characters makes no sense to Python, so it throws an error, syntax error. So in order to overcome this, we'll just have to enclose this within double quotes rather than single quotes. So now there is no error. One more thing I wanted to use is showing you guys how we can make use of this print statement. So suppose I had two statements saying decode now 1 and one more decode now 2. If I press shift enter, I get only the value of decode now 2, whereas decode now 1 value is missing. So if we wanted to include both the values, then we'll have to enclose it within the print statement, and then we will be able to get both the values. Now we can see both decode now 1 as well as decode now 2. One more thing I wanted to talk about is the escaping sequences. So if I want to say print decode now, it would print decode now. If I wanted this decode to be in one line and now to be in another line, I would use a escaping sequence called \n. If I do shift enter, I would get decode in one line and now in another line. Here, Python treats this n differently because it is coming after a backslash. What this means is it says introduce a new line in the place of \n. So if you want to modify this properly, yeah, now we can see decode in one line and now in another line. And one more escaping sequence I want to talk about is a \t. Instead of new line, what this does is it provides a tab space. So now we have, in the place of \t, we have a tab space. So this is all about escaping sequences in Python for strings. One more inbuilt feature I want to talk about is length. So if I wanted to find out how long the particular string is, I would use an inbuilt function called len and pass in the string in the brackets. So how many characters are there? Let's count H1, E2, L3, L4, O5. So the length should be 5. And one more thing is Python also considers space as a character. So in order to test that, we can say length of I space I. So even though there are only two characters, which is I and I, since Python considers the space also as a character, the answer would be 3. Yeah, this is all about strings in Python. If you have learned something new in this video, please do like the video and subscribe to our channel and support us. If you have any questions, suggestions or requests, please do let us know in the comment section below. In the next section, we'll be learning more about indexing and slicing with examples. See you there. Bye.